Breaking news coming in now in a stern message following the attack. Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett vowed to deal with such attacks with an iron fist, prompting the Israeli police to go to the highest level of alert. He further went on and said that Israel is facing a wave of Arab terrorism. The United Nations also condemned the recent terrorist attacks in Israel, which claimed the lives of at least 11 Israeli citizens. In the spirit of the upcoming religious holy days, he called for an immediate end to violence. And more breaking news coming in. The United Nations also condemned the terror attacks in Israel. If we're tracking for you all the latest on the terror attack in Israel, where the United Nations also condemning the terror attacks in Israel, which claimed at least 11 Israeli citizens' lives. Well, we're tracking for you all the latest on the terror attack in Israel and getting you all the latest updates with the United Nations also coming down heavily on those who wanted to disturb peace. You can see the screen, the tweet by the United Nations spokesperson. The Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemns the recent terrorist attacks in Israel, which claimed the lives of at least 11 Israeli citizens. In the spirit of the upcoming religious holidays, he calls for an immediate end to the violence, unquote. You can see the visuals on your screen of an official statement being released there by the United Nations condemning the terror attack in Israel. This after Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett vowed to deal with such attacks in the country with an iron fist. The United Nations calling for an immediate end to the violence in the country. And moving on now, a new subvariant of COVID-19 has recently raised fears throughout China. Shanghai, the country's biggest city and one that has fared relatively less since the beginning of the pandemic in 2019, is currently observing a strict lockdown in a phased manner. Here's why.